I'm super happy to have Katy with me, who actually worked a lot on AI agents. So maybe, Katy, do you want to present SUITSHOP and how has been your journey so far with Gorgias?
Yeah. Quick background, SUITSHOP, we sell suits online, obviously, primarily for weddings, but really for any occasion. We've been using Gorgias for a lot of years now, and we started using AI Agent last August. And I think I ran into the problem, like Diana was saying, where like it was doing okay, but I needed to know how to make it better. And it really, my rep and team members from Gorgias helped me figure out how to get to where we are now with a 30% automation rate.
All right, so maybe you've heard about it, but as a quick reminder, so when you onboard AI agents, it's really an extension of your team, and like basically having it, it's like you will start by onboarding it, then you'll like teach it how to engage with your customers, meaning replying to support or sales-related questions. You'll observe it, meaning that you will go through the statistics of how it's actually working, look at its performance, and to make it really work, this is where we're getting there, you'll be like its coach. So what it means, it will require multiple iterations sometimes actually to say, okay, I would like to add this type of knowledge or modify what I shared it initially to make it really work as I want. So yeah, why coaching AI agent? As I mentioned, make it more accurate for yourself. Like when you notice there is something that it said that not as you want it. Also let it manage more complex questions, right? So that it actually can take more from you. You saw the amazing demos from Roman and Maxim this morning. You saw how far it can go. So the idea is to really unlock more capabilities for you. If it's able to do more, you will improve your team efficiency and they will basically, of course, be able to do more things and maybe other things rather than answering to repetitive tickets. And of course, improving the shopper experience to make sure it actually meets their expectations and also go beyond. What we noticed, like the brands that are really good at coaching, they really get these results. So they're able to reduce up to 50% of their costs. They actually automate more than 60% of their conversations. They have a first response time that is less than 30 seconds. And also they get really great CSAT, 4.5 and more for their AI agent. And this is where we want you to bring to that territory. All right, so today what we are going to cover, it's a couple of even operational considerations. So basically how to QA it, how much time does it take, and then we'll get actually operationally into the product to show you how to do that tangibly. But to start with, we'll actually, I would love to ask a couple of questions to Katy, who knows how to do it perfectly. Yeah, so first of all, Katy, could you please tell us how many people actually in your team are QAing AI agent?
Yeah, right now it is just me. We are a small team, and I took it upon myself to be like the champion of AI agent. So I consider myself its boss, and I do all of its QAing on my own.
Awesome. And how many hours does it take to you to QA it and coach it in general?
At this point, definitely less than 1 hour per week. I tried to get through AI agent answered tickets daily. That rarely happens. In the beginning, it was definitely more time consuming because I needed to create new help center articles and create new guidances on a pretty regular basis. And now I've gotten it down to be a pretty quick thumbs up, thumbs down kind of process.
Awesome. When do you QA? Is it like on a Monday, on a Friday? What's your favorite time to QA it?
My favorite time is beginning of the week. When we have less agents available on the weekend, that means AI agent is likely answering more tickets than a human. So that's a good time for me to follow up with anything we may have missed or need to come back to that came in over the weekend.
Awesome. And so where do you do the coaching, meaning like refining your guidance, your knowledge, or setting up new actions?
I try to do it in the moment. So my approach is really to dedicate a set amount of time to QAing the AI agent, which includes going to the guidance or creating the guidance and trying to do it all in the moment. that's not always feasible. So sometimes I do use a spreadsheet to have my tickets all
We'll
in
see it
one
later.
like to-do list. And then I can go back and really take the time to focus on a guidance before just throwing something up super quickly.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing. At least I hope it gives you an inspiration also on when and how many times should you be spending doing it. But yeah, it definitely requires some time. Also, when I met Katy, basically Katy shared to me like a couple of like practical tips on how actually she is like doing this coaching, and I would love to hear you sharing these tips with the crowd as well.
Yeah, so when we launched in August, we started with email only. Also, I don't know that chat was available at the time, but now we're using it on both. Where it says like seasonal strategy, for us, August is like the peak of our season. Like fall weddings are the most popular time to get married. So things for us actually slowed down in holiday season when a lot of other brands are kind of ramping up. So I decided to turn AI Agent off when we first launched it in December, and used that slow December, January for us to really like beef up our help center. I went back to tickets that I had to answer myself or had to step in with. I used the statistics to see what people were searching in Help Center, to see what was missing, and spent a lot of time just creating content over and over again. And then from there, now that I felt good about how much I had available to the AI agent, then we turned it back on. And that was when I could really improve upon what was already there, or realize like, okay, this one was working. Like, thank goodness I created that.
Awesome. How did you create the content, basically?
Yeah, mostly in our help center. I sometimes write them up myself. I use a lot of knowledge that we have on the blog on our website, and my friend ChatGPT.
Yeah, we chatted about it. Sometimes it's just helpful to throw up a couple of things there and to get this answers and just to put it back. Maybe you've heard about it, but the good thing right now, we are able to actually take all the data available from your website and to pass it over to AI agent. So anything that you have in terms of links there, we'll be able to already leverage it. Yep. So that's cool. All right, I want to get a little bit more into the nitty-gritty of how it will work for you and give a couple of tips from what we saw brands are doing. Basically, you have these views that are in the ticket bar that you might have seen. And basically what I would recommend too, it's to look at the topics or tickets that actually being handed over by AI agent, right? So go through them and identify, okay, what are the most common handover topics I do have? And what's the action plan to come back to the Katy's point of what I should be doing? Second QA view you can create, it's like low CSAT. Okay, I'm getting a low CSAT on this tickets. Why? Okay. Let's basically filter on that has been like recently available if you're not using it. So you'll be able to filter on that and to go through this ticket specifically. Small tips, so as well, you could also ask basically your team members to use specific tags like AI agent feedback to tag tickets from AI agents that you think that should be reworked, or you're like, oh, it's actually not at the stage where I want, so they'll be tagging them, and then you can create a view based on this AI agent feedback so that they can once again review it again. Or once they have been reviewed and you're like, oh, actually, I'm sure they're really good, you have a tag AI agent reviewed so that you don't have to go through them again and reviewing them again. Another tip Katy shared, which I found pretty interesting, is one-touch tickets and how they can be helpful to create the knowledge for AI agent, if you want to speak to more about that.
So Tacy on my team is like my CX hero, the queen of one-touch tickets. So I pull her tickets often to see what she has responded. She is also my highest macro percentage user. So usually it means that she's just used a macro, but sometimes she's typing out a response that's not a macro and needs to be, or she's typing out a response consistently, like maybe she's answering a lot of return exchange tickets, and there's something missing in our guidance, which is why she's the one that answered it. So I use this to really beef up our knowledge and have it learn from Tacy herself.
Yeah, just to give context, I mean, to make sure everyone knows, one-touch tickets are tickets that have been like basically answered, like they need only one reply to be answered. So this is the most repetitive questions that you might get. What you want to do is to free up your team from them and like give them to the AI agents so that they can focus on everything else. So like basically taking the list of this one-touch tickets and creating the knowledge and passing it over to AI agents can be like a great tip for you too. All right, Katy told us about the action plan. Do you want to share a bit more? What do you do here?
Yeah, so this is my handy spreadsheet. I can't take credit for the design. Someone on Gorgias made it for me, and it was super helpful. But this is where I make a to-do list for when I don't have time in the moment to create those guidances. So I can put the ticket, what problem it is, and then what the resolution needs to be. I have a status like not started, in progress, completed, and then I'll link to what I made. So either a new guidance or a new macro. The next step after this is testing that original ticket in the test environment to make sure I just copy paste the original question and make sure that all my resolution and the things that I've completed as a fix did actually work.
Awesome. Congrats for doing it. That's very rigorous of you.
I love to-do lists.
Awesome. I would like to spend also a bit of time because we sometimes got like basically some feedback or heard like OEA agents is like very intuitive, but I want to really make it sound like as my agents and I do not achieve that results. Okay, let's unpack a bit why and share you what other brands are doing to achieve like outstanding results. So three tips or considerations to have. It's like customizing the signature. So how do you want actually AI agent to like sign, like disclose basically AI or not, and choosing the custom tone of voice and refine it. Okay. So if we look at the signatures, here I just basically gave you like made a screenshots of a couple of examples of brands are putting as a signature for their AI agent. And as you can see, what I love is when people like call it by a name, like Josephine, we can see Belle, Isla, whatever. So that's kind of cool. It makes it more actually personal and human. Some brands actually go more further and they decide to disclose more like the AI piece. We can see this response was created by Max, Robot, our friendly AI agent designed to maximize your customer experience. So in that case, we're disclosing a bit more of that. But when you do it, maybe it's good to see how also your shoppers are reacting to it. Do they like that or not? And then you have like also like another version is customer service AI agent, where she's like completely disclosed in that sense. So it's up to you to choose where, how much actually do you want to disclose of AI versus not. So in the United States, there is no like a federal law that actually asks you to disclose it, though some states like California actually ask to disclose it. So it's like also you need to consider that basically when you're like choosing your signature. On the custom tone of voice, so maybe you saw it. So you have like 3 default options on custom tone of voice that exist, on tone of voice that can exist, but you can choose the custom one and basically really refine it and say to AI agents on how you want it to speak and really represent your brand. So I'll consider like these 3 things. So what's the tone style do you want AI agent to have? How do you want the structure of its answers to be? And then I'm sharing a couple of like some interesting tips. So on the tone style, of course, you need to like basically share. Do you want it to be more warm, easygoing, helpful? This is what we see. Like usually brands are actually want AI agent to be. Show empathy, be reassuring, acknowledge emotions, frustrations, and needs, clearly and kindly, and be really here to offer solutions and guide customers without being even asked. So these are a couple of examples like that our brands are putting in there. Feel free to leverage those when you'll be like refining your tone of voice. When you think about the structure, it's probably great to think, how do you want to start or end the AI agent answers? Do you want to write short or more like lengthy sentences? What's actually your brand is asking you to do? what type of format, like full sentences, bullet points. Do you want to use emojis or not? Do you want to put a lot of exclamation points, or it's not in brand for you? These are a couple of considerations to have when you're actually customizing it. What's really working is when you share concrete examples and say, I want you to say that, or I don't want you to use these words. And it's important you basically define that and you share that to AI agent so that it follows this and you're happy with AI agent using or not using certain type of words. Yeah, small tip, but tone of voice, it's not where you add your policies, it's where you say to AI agent on how to speak and how to represent your brand. And some of our brands actually decided to add a light humor to it. So that's something you can also like ask for it to have, and it will make a couple of jokes if you're open to that too. All right. Yeah, here are just like basically also want to really make it tangible for you and provides a couple of screenshots of what other brands are actually writing and putting in their custom tone of voice. So you can see like, use a customer first name only, maintain a warm, friendly tone, keep responses short and easy to read, use positive humor but avoid sensitive topics, show understanding by repeating or summarizing the customer's concern, use emphatic phrases, and reassure the customers when needed. Congratulate customers when they follow guidance and resolve an issue. Yeah, so these are like a tangible examples of things you could use when setting up AI agents. And once again, if you want to make it like high standards and make it more humans, is what I recommend you to use. Okay, now we'll get to the in-product coaching piece. So Katy made a couple of videos so that we don't see customer data, basically. So yeah, let's see a couple of things. So here tangibly we'll show you how to give actually feedback to Gorgias AI agent in product.
Okay, here is a pretty common question for us. The navy suit I'm looking at says unfinished pant hem. Will the pants need to be hemmed somewhere? Yes, we have this written in a lot of places on our website. And we have a lot of macros, helps, and articles that all include this information as well. So in this case, I'm not sure why the agent said, I don't have the information to answer your question. Definitely something that we need to review. So I'm going to click on review response. And it looks like they did not find any sources for the ability to answer this ticket. So I'm going to select the resources that I know. Easily just can look up hem, and we have a few of these things. So why aren't my pants hemmed? Are your pants hemmed? We probably have something else, but I think those are the two that are going to be the most helpful. So I'm going to apply those resources. There's not really another issue that we need to report. It didn't use a wrong tone of voice. It didn't use the wrong customer name. It didn't overpromise or lack empathy. So I'm just going to leave that blank for now. But in the internal note, I'm also going to add what I would have liked for it to say. So yes, our pants are sent with an unfinished hemmed edge and do need to be tailored after delivery. Since this conversation came through on chat, I'm going to keep my internal note short and sweet, just how we'd like it to respond. This way, on top of the resources that I'm giving it to check in later, it also knows what my desired response would be.
Awesome. Yes, we have a question.
Is that an internal note, or is that you training data?
The internal note is really for the feedback to the Gorgias team. The guidance and the macro is what's training the AI agent.
So when you said you put this in there, if that's how we wanted to respond, that's not training. Like there's an extra step needed for that.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, you don't need to do the internal note, but I like to keep for me. So if I'm looking at it later, so I know that I went through it and left a message.
Yeah, the ideal step is going just right after, it's adding a new guidance. So in that case, for example, like in that case, you had already like this knowledge sources. For a reason, we don't know why, it didn't pick the right ones, right? So it didn't use it. So hey, here, Katy, guided AI agent, like, hey, you've got it.
Trained up.
What's up?
Already trained up.
Yeah.
But my question was like, does someone else now has to touch the same case again? Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Usually once you have like knowledge and guidance created, 99% of time is going to work. Yeah. And here, basically, imagine you don't have the knowledge that Katy selected, right? In that case, you'll go and create a guidance for it, or help send article if you want to basically make it more available to everyone. And yeah, that's it, guys. And the internal notes, it's a good feedback. And it's more the internal notes for our product team and for also Katy if she wants to review it. Yeah.
just in the sense of one question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, a small demo of how to add a new guidance for AI agent on a ticket as well.
Okay, so after coming across my last ticket about the pant hemming, I came across a similar ticket about the length of the jacket sleeves. So we ordered a suit and the jacket fits great, but the sleeves are about an inch short. Is there enough extra in the sleeves to alter that much, or do we need to exchange for a different size? We have a great macro about this. It's definitely a common question about jacket sleeve length, but AI agent didn't answer it because it thinks it's a handover topic. So measurements, sizing and fit questions, alteration, and tailoring. This leads me to think, wow, our handover topic that I meant to be about someone sending in specific body measurements. Questions like, I got this size and it doesn't fit. Which size should I switch to? That AI agent might not understand. That's what I really wanted to be handed over. But this general question, it definitely can answer. So I think I need to delete my handover topic and instead make this all into a guidance. So I'm going to go to my handover topics. This link didn't actually take me there, but we can find it under settings and defining our handover topics. So I'm going to end up deleting this one about measurements, sizing, and fit questions. But first, I need to make a guidance. So I'm going to go into my AI agent knowledge settings, find guidance, and create a new one. Thankfully, because of my friend ChatGPT, I've got this written out already. So I'm just going to copy paste this into here. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead, make sure that it is available, and create the guidance. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my handover topics. I'm going to remove this one. We no longer need it. Confirm my topics. Then I'm going to go back to the ticket. We may need to refresh, but let's see if it's updated. And let's find my new guidance, sizing and fit inquiries. Awesome. So I'm going to apply that one, but I'm also going to add in that super great macro I have about short sleeve responses. Perfect. We don't need to report an issue again here. Everything sounded good. We just wanted it to do better. So I'm going to leave this blank, and then I'm still going to add in my internal note about what I would have liked it to respond with. In this case, just copy and pasting that macro in here. And that's it.
All right, thanks, Katy, for recording that for us. So here's him again. Like the internal note was more internal. Yeah, and also like Katy, you copy pasted quickly the guidance. I just want to make sure you also can see it, what was actually written during that in that guidance. So that it gives you an example of like also what Katy is putting in her guidance, and it's like well written, clear. It gives like instructions to AI agent on what it should be doing, what it should be not. Also, it tells us like what type of like sources it can leverage to answer those questions. All right. Anything you want to comment on this one, Katy? Or
The only thing I'll say is adding those specific like questions in the quotes is super helpful. So it has an example of what a sizing and fit inquiry might be.
awesome. Thanks.
Jackson.
So it's like after you made this, it just
Yeah.
to like hit the test and see like what the new response.
Correct. Correct. You will do the test and it's immediately available. So correct. Awesome. We could take also the questions, but I also want to share a couple of latest product innovations that our product team has built to help you with the coaching piece, and that will help you to accelerate all of that. So maybe you saw it, but we recently actually released a new optimize page for those who are using directly AI agents. And basically what you just saw here, it showed you a page, this page actually, where it lists the most common inquiries that you get or that are being worked on by the AI agents. What's your automation rate opportunity, meaning how much actually you can lift it or like automate it by AI agents, how many tickets were touched by it, like its CSAT, etc. But it's basically your like knowledge board, like knowing, okay, what are the resources I answer well on, or what are the resources I need to create, basically. So what's going on right now, you're able to, we call this intents, let's say auto cancel, you'll be able even double click in there and get to the like sub-intent level. So it's like, did the auto cancellation happen before the item was shipped, or did the auto cancellation happen like, I don't know, right after the purchase? You'll be able really to see the granular data, even double click to see the tickets that are actually were concerned by this type of intent. What's coming soon basically is the ability, we'll be able to create the knowledge for you. So we know your macros, we know your help center articles, now your website. So we'll be leveraging that knowledge basically to create a first draft for your potential responses. Of course, we want you to look at it, to review it, to say, okay, I like that resource. I think it's the right resource for the AI agent. I'm sending it to it, and we're good to go. So yeah, this is really the tool to optimize your AI agent to know what's it's answering well and generating the knowledge for you. Maybe some of you started already using auto QA feature. I am actually super excited about this one. You will see how it works. So for any questions answered by AI agent or a human agent, so anyone from your team, basically the auto QA feature will be able to make a rating basically on different dimension for that answer. So I don't know how many of you are QAing tickets, but what I heard in the industry, like less than 10% of tickets overall are being reviewed because it just takes so much of your time and you cannot reach the 100%. So this what it's doing is going to go through all the tickets and review that for you. Basically the dimension it's like assessing, it's like resolution. Was actually the question or the inquiry replied, was it like resolved or not? So that's the first kind of a binary assessment. Then it's going to assess the accuracy, language, and communication automatically. And actually you're able to go and look at these results. And also if you're like, for example, saying that actually it was a great result, but it scored like poorly, you're able to modify these results as well. So that it actually goes back into the statistics and you're able to see what are the results that you have for your agents that are scoring against these dimensions. And similarly, you can compare them against your agents as well. So this is like already available. That's something you can find. Basically, in the ticket, you have the customer information and on the side, you have AI feedback. So this auto QA score appears like 12 hours after the ticket was closed. Yep. All right, we're getting to the end of our presentation and we'll get a bunch of questions from you as well and curious to get your feedback. But if you need to get any support to set up and optimize AI agents, please scan this QR code. We'll follow up basically with you and basically get you to the right person from Gorgias to help you out. Yeah. I'll let you scan it for a couple of seconds if that's something, if you need like any help with that. All right. Yep, we can take your questions. I just want to make sure it's also clear for you what's coming next. So at 2:30, where we are. Okay, yeah, in 20 minutes, we'll have on the main stage Roman and Jonathan from New Era, who will be speaking about how Jonathan actually scaled a multi-billion-dollar brand. So an exciting talk to see where you can, how far you can get there. Then we have an all-star panel to speak more about the support sales flywheel. It's a more very data-driven talk. We have the Ask Me Anything session at 3:45 on the main stage as well with Roman and Alex. And after a coffee break, there is a couple of workshops between 5 and 6, Recharge, Clavio, and another workshops, more hands-on like we just did with Nicole and Connor from our team. And yeah, just giving you a quick heads up for this afternoon. All right, we're happy to take any questions from anyone.
Okay, we have it back here.
Oh, yes. Awesome, thank you, Kim.
Hi, thank you. Question for Katy, first of all, if I may, and if you're happy to share. I'm just interested to know what percentage of total closed tickets is AI agent contributing, first of all, just for benchmark purposes, I guess. And secondly, for Diana, is there an easy way, and hopefully there's a very simple answer to this, and it's a naive question and I've missed it, but is there an easy way to see the percentage of handover tickets versus closed tickets? That's it, thank you.
Yeah, mine is about 30%, which I will admit is low, like the Gorgias, what they would like it to be. I still hesitate with having it answer a ticket like more than once, like giving more responses, just because I love everyone on my team and they do such a great job. And I know no one likes to be in that loop of continuing to get messages from an AI agent when you're trying to reach a human, especially because we're dealing with often really urgent, my wedding is next weekend, help inquiries. But as time has gone on, I've given it more and more capabilities. So I'm sure I will continue to trust in it more and more.
Awesome, thanks. To answer your question, so we don't have like a statistics that says like the percentage of handover topics, but the way I do it, and we have two of product leaders here, so they'll be able to tell you if there's any questions. So you have this ticket view, right? And so what I do is like I look the like handover actually divided by the all when it's not over like 5,000 like here. Usually you're able to get this like percentage like roughly, I would say. You have another stat actually that might be actually helpful to you. It's the coverage rate. So coverage rate, it basically tells you out of how many tickets AI agents attempt to answer, how many actually he answered to. So so that's kind of, sorry, actually out of, how many tickets AI agent got to, how many it actually replied to. So how many is coverage, right? How many it's covered. So this is like a great statistic to keep in mind. And this you have it in the optimized page, I think I was showing a little bit later. Yeah, hope that helps.
It does.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Katy, can you talk a little bit about your journey, since you were another really early adopter of when AI Agent originally launched, there wasn't an option to do preview. It was just like full send, and then it gave a preview. Have you toggled between letting it close tickets and preview? And what's been your experience with that?
I'm not sure you use preview though.
Yeah, no, I've only let it close tickets, but I use that test environment, and that's where I really rely on feeling confident to let it close the tickets. I also go through the closed tickets, and that's when I'm doing my QA on it.
Mike?
What are all the, where can it get information? A total list, because we had one fun example where it was asking something about clips that we have for our flag, and it didn't have anything in the resources, and I was like, where did it get this? Where does it find it? I know sometimes technology does funny things, but when there's no guidance, there's nothing on our website, there's no help center that it has access to, I was like, what in the world? And, you know, no harm, no foul, but just curious, is it looking at past responses as well? Like, where could it have gotten that?
Yeah, I could show you like a nice slide actually that recaps all of that, I think right after, that I cannot pull unfortunately right there. But first of all, it actually pulls a lot of data from your Shopify store. So my guess is that it pulled from there. So it pulls a lot of your data from Shopify to start with. If you have any integrations that you added as well, it can pull data from there. Yeah, but then Help Center, more classically guidance, as you know, your website, if you sync it, URLs, external knowledge you have uploaded, that's mainly it. But I'm thinking, what are the not obvious data sources it could have done? Shopify and integrations mainly, to be honest, yeah. Awesome. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, yeah. Hi, Katy. I wonder how long does it take for you to actually ramp up and feel really comfortable and kind of shrink your work of QA from, really demanding to 1 hour per week? Like, what is the time frame that took you?
Yeah, I would say for me, it was like a few months. Maybe, I would say we started it maybe 2 or 3 months, just like letting it go and see what happens. And then I turned it off for 2 more months. So maybe within those like 4 to 5 months, I felt super confident with it after that.
We're obviously just at the beginning of this, and currently we say like 30%, 50%. What's the aspiration? 95, 99? No, honestly.
It depends who you ask, right? If you ask Roman and Alex, 100. No.
I think it has to be.
Yeah.
Right? Because if we're all saying, and that's just like the general question that I haven't really gotten yet, is if we say you are coaching the AI as an employee, it's probably the most coachable employee you have. Right. It's the most scalable one. Like after a year, that's the only employee. Maybe plus 1 or 2. I'm just...
Correct. You saw OpenAI as well. It go like... I think that the end state, I guess the question for me, it's like how much of time it's going to take the technology basically to get there. Like the OpenAI plus us plus you, like all together to get there. So as I mentioned, I think our really the most performing brands, they're like automating 60% of their customer CX. It's huge. It's game changer.
A year ago when you guys weren't there yet, we used like based on ChatGPT and really trained it well. The next day I sold units in Mandarin to Hong Kong and it wouldn't jump back 10 times back and forth and just ended in a sale. I think it has to get there.
We're getting there together. Any other questions? Any final questions? No?
Yeah. Oh, great.
I have a question for Katy. I was just curious if you and your CX team, or if your CX team is involved in the QA process, or how you empower them to be involved in that process.
Yeah, I think Diana's suggestion of using that AI feedback tag is a good one to ask agents to use. I always tell my team, tell me if it says something super weird, and also tell me if it did a great job. I want to know both ends. So I've tried to make it like a open communication with the team. We also have a fun Slack channel that we call customer comments. So we like to put screenshots in there of things that people have replied to the AI agent, whether good or bad. But usually it's something where they thought, Max, that was my example, was a real person. And they're like, thanks, Max, you did a great job.
Thank you.
Awesome, thank you so much.
Thank you.